you mind standing, please? The only time while I'm there. Now, would you tell us your name and why you're here?
My name is Nikki Wen, and the reason I'm here because I went to see Dr. Berman, and they are like immediately connected, and I know the spirit, but I need to find a way to practice to get there.
Yeah. So you want to get closer to
not use my brain, but use my spiritual.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very important point. Thank you.
Michael Summers, here to other one, but
That's okay. That's okay. I'll adjust my arm afterwards. That's good. Well, I'm glad to have you here. I hope you can make it through the next 5 classes. We're not going to have them sequentially. We're going to have a few breaks in that schedule, so please check the roles. And if you have any questions, call me or ask me. Just want to make sure you know when we're going to be meeting for the next time. Now, the purpose for the God Factor, it's basically to do this. Okay, you've got a starfish. I've learned a long time ago, don't ask a starfish for directions. Okay? So, in our case, we're going to get our directions, but we're not going to get them from human sources. We're going to get our directions from the source called God. Now, you can call it anything you want, but I can also call it superconsciousness. You can call it universal energy. Call it whatever you will, but we're going to get our answers from that source. Now, the question is, how do we do that? Because this is the age-old question since man was on the face of this earth. Well, we're going to put physics back to science and also with the ideas of faith and religion to give us answers that we can really control, and it will be up to us then to determine how much God do we want. We're literally saying that we have the ability to control how much God we want in our lives, how much knowledge we want in our lives, and how much peace and joy we have in our life. In this magazine, Alternative and Complementary Therapies, this is a brand new issue. I just got it this morning, and it's an article written by an MD, Can Happiness Be Prescribed? Well, the answer to that is, according to them, you're not sure. They would like to do it, but they're not sure how to do it. Well, in addition to getting closer to God, we are going to program happiness. Because our happiness and joy is not based upon human assumptions. Our happiness and joy comes from the fundamental facts that there's a plan and a destiny for every one of us. And what I'm finding as a practicing doctor, if the person knows what they need to do, and they're in their purpose and destiny, they very seldom get sick in any way, shape, or form. We generally get sick, we get unhappy, because we're following or somehow out of sorts with that purpose and destiny. So our plan is to get in touch with that and do it in a systematic way, step by step by step. So tonight we're going to go back into what we started a few weeks ago, and we're going to review a number of the ideas. So what we're going to do tonight, in a few moments, Ruthie is going to take over, and she's going to talk to us about essential oils. Because as we were doing this technique, we're going to get out of the heart or the brain. We're going to get out of either using the heart or the brain, and we're going to get out of the heart, fear, doubt, uncertainty, it's the brain, anger, and frustration. And we're going to use step-by-step methods to get back into clarity, focus, and being in touch with God and our destiny. Now, part of this plan, we're getting to therapies, is to use essential oils. So the essential oil part will be covered by Ruthie. She's going to cover that today. And then I'll take over during the last half hour, and I'll go through more of this so I can put more information to this and give us more of a review. Okay? So for right now, Ruthie? I did a little experiment over the weekend. I went to a conference, a professional conference. When I walked into the room, it's a pretty large room, a lot of doctors there. I scanned the room to see could I find the two most uptight doctors sitting together so I could sit next to them. So I did. I scanned the room, and there was an empty seat there, so I sat in between two doctors. So I started talking to them. And it turns out they both came in from other states in for the conference. Neither one of them slept well. They were both late. They both had a lot of issues trying to get there, both of them. So I did the experiment. I took some of the Stress RX, and I put some on either hand. And every half hour, I put more and more on my hands. And I would put my hands close to them. I was curious to see the reaction to this. So by 10 o'clock, the conference started at 8. So from 8 to 10, I was doing this every half hour. By 10 o'clock, the one on my right-hand side, he's leaning back in his chair. He's going like, I better get to sleep. I don't know what's happening. He's going so relaxed. And he goes, what is that smell? What is that smell? And I said, well, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. And the other one, who's on the other side, is going, yeah, you know, like you're mentioning that, I'm so relaxed. What's going on? It's not the temperature of the room. It's not, I'm not hungry. What's going on? So again, then he says, what's that smell? I said, I'll tell you later. So then I go out and I wash it off. And it's about 12 o'clock. Now they're uptight again. Now they're up again. They're really excited again because now they're thinking about, oh, I didn't get enough sleep, I've got this problem, they're on their phones, they're doing all this again. They're going back into that stress condition. So they go to lunch, come back. Again, around 1 o'clock, from 1 to 5, I'm putting it on my hands. By 5 o'clock, they're in there, one guy on the right-hand side, he's sleeping. He's snoring. The guy on my left side, he's like going, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should go upstairs and go to sleep. It's never happened to me before. So I did the same thing on Sunday. Same results. Same results with 2 other doctors. This is a powerful formula. This is a very powerful formula. I'm getting good feedback on this. Ruthie is a master with this. She's extremely good. You did a great job of putting that together. So thank you.
We worked together on that.
Well, it's very kind that you did all the hard work. So this is the beginning of creating a lot of good formulas. Yeah. Now, we have some excellent teachers in the room, and I want to make sure that you know who they are. Dr. Mullen, would you mind standing? Dr. Mullen will teach us more about muscle testing. He's going to give us a chance later in our session, so thank you. Sandra Stewart, would you mind standing? She's going to go through the meditation techniques with us. Very important. Of course, you know Ruthie Goodman. And then Becky Smith in the back. Becky, mind standing, please. Now, if you look at that equipment that she has, that's very powerful equipment to make physiological and energetic changes in your body. We're going to be using some of that equipment as part of what we're doing with the God Factor technique, with the therapies, to make those changes. So she brought it in to begin using it on you, so feel free to go back and she'll begin to do that, okay? So, time being, let me go back to why we're here again. We're here to get in touch with who and what we're supposed to be. Look, on either side of us, if we go back to the laws of nature, okay, we have gravity, okay, weak and strong interactions, we have electromagnetic interactions, okay, that's one set of laws. On this side, we have the spiritual laws. Call it the 10 Commandments, call it whatever version we want. But in between both of these, we have to live. And in between both of these, there's a purpose and a destiny for us. So how do we know which way to go? How do we know how to get there? Well, how do we know what that purpose and destiny is? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to define a statement that will give be a blueprint for us to get to where we want to go. We call that the Q statement, quality of life and living statement. Remember we said this. We said the reasons why we're having so much trouble in between the 2 sets of laws is because we have a brain that's trying to get us to go in the wrong direction because of anger and frustration, or we have a heart with fear, doubt, and uncertainty that's trying to do the same thing. The only way out is direct them. They need a direction, a purpose. We call that a Q statement. Okay? Quality of life and living statement. We started that off with this paragraph, and the paragraph is talking about allowing God, Jesus Christ, Holy Spirit, angels, or any other God that you want, that's up to you. But we're also giving them permission to help us by removing the weeds and the roots. Remember what I said? I said that this came about, this God Factor technique came about because of a dream that I had that said I wasn't getting to the weeds and the roots of your problems. So, after evaluating that and understanding what that meant, I want to give honor to that and understand that the problems that we're having that are trying to prevent us from achieving our purpose and destiny are really deep and they're really strong, and we're going to get rid of them. And we're going to change them too, but the other reason why I have this paragraph in here is for me to be humble. I can't do this on my own. Every time I read that statement, I'm turning it over to God, because I can't do this on my own. I've tried, I won't get there. So this begins to set me into the right stage of humility. If I do that, I've got a chance. Okay? If I ignore this, then I may start thinking I'm doing it, and then we're going to fail. We're definitely going to fail. And then after we make our statement about humility, we're changing it to, what do you want? What do you want? This is the wish list that your spirit is listening to. I might add, when I say, what do you want? We said optimal physical and energetic health is one of the elements. But I might add, as you put in this, that I'm filled completely with optimal physical and energetic health. I'm filled completely with the ability to achieve the prosperity that I want. I'm filled completely, because what are we filling? We're filling every part of our bodies, our organ structures, the atomic spaces, the area around us, we're filling. We want to turn us into a prosperity magnet to attract health, wealth, relationships, and the time to use it wisely, all simultaneously. We want to attract that as one total unit. So this area around us must be programmed, and that's what we're doing. Okay? So people have asked in the past, how do I know when to make a new Q statement? Very simple. If you have any doubts about anything you're doing, if you're feeling fearful, angry, frustrated, something's making you upset, you probably need a new Q statement. If you feel like you're not making progress, you've already made some, you've made some progress, now you're feeling like it's not working, make a new one. I guarantee you, you'll need it. Okay? These are some of the simple rules that I've had that work well for me. You don't need me to help you make that statement. So what do you put in here? What do you want? Well, what's your purpose and destiny? And if you're not sure about that, what do you want to keep you moving further and further and further along so you are happier, more fulfilled, more joyful? It's up to you. You can put in any number of statements in here for what you want, but we're using it as a program to open up the doors to allow God to help us. Am I making sense? Right. Any questions about this Q statement? Because there were some questions last time, in the last classes. Any questions at all? Please.
You're really
Share what you might say.
not changing, I think of the Q statement as the I give your permission part.
Right.
So the only thing that you're changing is continually adding to your list.
That's right. That's right. And let's suppose I'm up to Q12. Okay? And of course, I haven't finished everything from Q1 to Q11. But now I want to do Q12. Well, all I have to do is make a statement. Since we're talking about this, I allow all the material that hasn't been finished or is in transition to be finished, because again, this is God's timing, not mine. Either way, we put that in, so we always are allowing that information to keep moving forward with us. Am I clear on that? Is that clear? Does that make sense? Okay? Because we're always giving it permission to keep working. Because when it's time, it will appear. Okay? It's simple as that.
So you can just basically say, and all the things from the previous Q statements that are just not visibly present necessarily.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, whatever, however you want to phrase it, as long as we keep that moving. We want to keep that energy moving. But I guarantee you, the moment you feel stuck in any way, you need a new Q statement. Okay? That's the purpose of this. So, once we do that, we talked about, I'm sorry.
A quick question, as
Yeah.
far as Q
Would you mind saying
statement.
that?
Sure. Okay, so say Dennis has his Q statement, I have my Q statement. Would it be a good idea to do a joint Q statement as well, so that we could have,
Yeah, I understand your question. That would depend on a couple, and it depends on a number of other issues right now. In this case, it's better that you do these things separately. It just depends on the situation. It'd be better for you to do yours separately, Dennis, for you to do yours. Okay? Later, as we get more and more things finished, then probably it'll be good to put them together, because then it'll be very much aligned at that point. Okay? So if there's any doubt, don't do it. Okay? If there's any doubt, just don't do it. Or call and ask whatever you want to do. Good question. Good question. Any other questions? Please, this is a review. Ask questions. Okay? You're also helping the people that haven't been here before. Yes?
I would like to also get some more insight on the different colors of the bottles.
Mm-hmm.
in order to program those Q statements, and that may be something that some of the new people may not be aware of.
Okay. Let's go back to this. Here. Okay, there are specific steps to get to what I call the God side of things. The first thing is, what do we want? That's our Q statement. The next thing is, we're going to go through a meditation, and Sandra will take us through this in just a few minutes. This is a very specific form of meditation. Look, the reason why all of these have failed in the past, all these techniques, all these books, I know they're written by well-meaning people, I know they've got great ideas, but the problem is they're as much stuck in their problems as you and I are. Okay? I haven't found many people that are actually operating from their spirit side. Okay, until this class got together, there weren't many people that were forming this idea. So to go back to conventional thinking isn't going to work. What's important to understand is, why have we failed in the past? Several reasons. We failed in the past because we're either operating from the brain, as I said, trying to use logic, or we're trying to use our emotions from the heart. Okay, that's guaranteed failure. Our purpose this time is we're going to turn it over. But we're going to turn it over in terms of a meditation where it has 3 steps to the meditation. The first step to the meditation is we're going to see ourselves on a platform, and we're going to have a large sphere around us, and we're going to let that sphere expand because that sphere is pushing away all of the demons, the dark forces, anything that's trying to stop us from the past in the external environment. Because that's very deadly and that's very dangerous. So we're going to actually create an imagination image to do that. But this is energy, this is physics, this is quantum mechanics. As we start creating this image in our mind, we're actually doing it physically to our bodies. We're actually pushing away these resistance areas so far away that they cannot have any influence on us. The strongest demon in the world has no effect on us if we push them away far enough and we stop feeling their effects. Okay, that's number one. Second part to the meditation. We're going to allow the hands of God to go inside your body. We're going to give permission to God to put those hands inside, and those hands are going to remove whatever it is inside this body that's trying to prevent you from having your Q statement. We're literally going to see that happen. We're going to allow God to go from the top of the skull down to the bottom of the feet and literally remove it in one movement, all that poison out of your body. And then we do the same exact thing we did in step 1. That's a poison. That's been also trying to stop us. And those poisons can come from any number of issues, from past lives, from time of creation. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It's there. But we're going to just admit that it is and let it go. And we're going to give permission for that to move away so far away that we don't feel the effects. And then in step 3, we're going to start reprogramming ourselves with our Q statement, whatever Q number it is. And we're going to imagine that we're absorbing all this, and Sandra will take you through this, so that we are literally replacing down to the roots and the weeds where we were at the beginning of our Q statement, because remember we mentioned that in our Q statement. So now we're spraying that in. It's refilling our bodies and refilling the areas around us with now a new energy which will stay. What I found was, even though this was important and this was working, it wasn't enough to keep that energy there over a long period of time. So we went from using the statement with the meditation and also programming water. Now we get to the answer to your question here. We're going to now take a specific color for each person. For those of you who haven't been to my office, I would ask you to use a yellow bottle just to get started. A yellow glass bottle will get the job done. Well, we make our statement, whatever it is, we put it near the bottle, and then we put it out into the sun to let the sun program the water. Okay, and after a specific period of time, we start drinking that water, and that water goes into the body with more of the Q statement. We are using energy all the time to rebuild ourselves, but even with that, that wasn't enough to keep that energy consistent in the body and make it permanent. So then we went into therapies. Part of the therapies that we're using will be the essential oils, and also the light machines that are back there, and also several other techniques that I have that we'll start using in the next session to start putting those statements into the body permanently. Okay? And then we start building on that. The next Q statement puts more of it in. The next one after that, more. How far do you want to go? That's up to you. It's up to you. Okay, there's no limit to this. A psychologist that I know, that I really value the opinion of this person, she called me before I got up here today. She said, this is fantastic stuff. She's been through it now several times. She's just saying, this is amazing. She's going, I'm feeling happy more often now than I've ever done in my life. What are you doing? We're using physics. We're using physics with religion and science and with spirituality to go back to the issues. The issues have been energy. The solutions are energy. It's not biochemistry by itself. It's energy. If we put the right energies into the body with the right type of consciousness, we can do amazing things. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Am I being clear about this? Yeah. So, Sandra, would you mind taking us through the meditation part? And for those of you who haven't been here, who are not sure about making the water, stop me after class and I'll be happy to talk to you about that. Okay? Or anyone else that's here. Thank you. Sandra?
Everybody get comfortable, or you want to sit or leave for meditation? We're going to start by breathing. Close your eyes if it helps, whatever you want to do. We're going to breathe in deeply. And as we breathe in deeply, the sphere becomes bigger. You're on your platform, and you are surrounded by this sphere. And with each breath, it expands. Your in-breath expands. Your out-breath calms and relaxes you. So let's take some time to breathe in. Breathe into your spirit center. Breathe out to become calm and relaxed. Let's take that sphere out 1,000,000 times more than you just did. Take it to other galaxies if that's what you need. You're expanding the sphere as well as relaxing. Your breath is calming. Let's take it out 1,000,000,000 times more if we need to. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Continue breathing. Now slow your breath. Slow your breath down. You're still in the center of the sphere. And now, because you have an incredible imagination, you're imagining the hands of God coming into your body, extracting, removing the weeds and the roots of your resistances. God's hands are going from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, wherever the poison is. God's hands are removing it fully from you. You're now to give permission, keep that imagination going, it's so powerful. Imagine giving permission for God to move far enough away. He's still holding the toxicity, the poisons, anything that's keeping you from being your authentic self. He's moving this so far away. Again, that sphere can be so large that he's taking it so far away, it isn't yours anymore. You are so physically separated from this poison in your imagination. You've purified the internal environment within you. Because the internal and external space is purified, now you're going to spray yourself with your Q liquid. This comes from the Q statement. This is your Q liquid. Imagine using a large fire hose. You are spraying, spraying, spraying yourself with this liquid. You're filling all those spots, all those places where the poisons were. You're filling them with the light of God. God's light is filling every crack and crevice, totally filled within you. You're so full of God's light, you're illuminated. You are so bright. When you look around, you see 4 buckets are there with you. And these empty buckets are health, wealth, loving relationships, and time to do what you need. This white light of God, you're spraying it into the buckets. The buckets are overflowing. There's so much light. Continue spraying, spraying yourself, spraying the buckets. And now you see yourself in your imagination, you see yourself smile. And you nod your head, and you open your mouth, and you respond with a yes. Take time to see all this happening in your imagination. Remember, in this step, you are doing items from your Q statement. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. You're doing beautifully. Wow. Did you see yourself smile? Did you see yourself nod your head? Did you see yourself say yes? And as always, we end our meditation with gratitude. you to God as we understand it. Thank you to the universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you're ready, open your eyes, wiggle your toes, whatever you need to do to come back into this space.
I'll leave the lights off here. Sandra, thank you. For those of you who have been practicing that meditation, any comments? Any comments at all from previous times practicing? Betty, would you mind standing up?
Sure.
Yeah.
When removing the toxins, roots and weeds, whatever they may be, can you put them on the outside of the sphere?
Sure. You can put it anywhere you want.
Okay. Well, it just seemed to make sense to me to do that, and I had been doing that, and then I just wasn't sure if that was...
No, no problem at all. But since you've been doing this, any comments or experience from doing this?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, and Gary warned me from the very beginning because, things were going very, very quickly. And because things do come up, the first time I mentioned I had a neck issue that came out of nowhere and went back into nowhere. But for 3 days I was miserable, couldn't even turn my head. And allergies came and went as well. So the cool thing about it now is I feel like I can just, whatever it is, my knees are hurting me right now. And I've been lighting them, icing them, using essential oils. I love that oil so much. And it's like, okay, in a few days they're probably going to be just back to normal. Rest them as well, did a lot of walking over the weekend. So it just gives me the confidence that I don't have to be, as Ruthie put it, stuck when these things come about, because we are still human beings, that these things are going to come upon us, I guess.
So this time it seems like you're getting through the situation easier, is that fair to say?
Yes, yeah, and without, worrying about it, and just going, oh no, now I've got this to deal with, and approaching it from a negative, like what did I do wrong kind of thing, versus, oh, okay, maybe some stuff is just going to work itself out energetically, and then I can just move on down the road.
Okay, very good, thank you. Anyone else? For those of you who have been practicing this, have you seen anything? Yeah, sure.
Yes, since I started doing this and on the work front was definitely looking for work, so it has come about now, so I am very grateful for that. And I never was a meditator whatsoever. And so I thought, this is very difficult for me. I never sit still for any period of time at all. So to meditate and have to sit there and close my eyes, I thought this was the biggest struggle I would ever have in my entire life. But by forcing myself to do it and continuing to come to the classes and all, it's just gotten so much easier. And now I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but I look forward to it because it just calms me down, it gives me peace, and I don't feel like I'm in charge of my life anymore and causing me less stress. So, and I'd love to blend with you.
I'm going to play a little bit more with energy just for a moment here. So let me move this out of the way. We'll just take a couple minutes doing this. I don't know if you want to see this. Okay. Now, for those of you who weren't here during the last class, this is called a Quantum Pro, this and the antenna system that's over there. And basically it's designed to send out signals to relax you. Okay. If there's stress, it tends to relax a great deal. I've adjusted it to a certain frequency, which is good for this room. And I just want the energy now, since I've turned it off, to come down. So if you'll just close your eyes for a moment, breathe in and out, and just go into a state of gratitude. Right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank God, thank your friends, thank yourself. I don't care what you're thanking yourself for. But just go into a state like that, just for a few minutes. As the energy's going down, I want you to feel what it's like as a baseline. are you sensing now in terms of the energy of the room? Is it up, stay the same, or is it going down?
Up to me.
Sense the overall energy of the room, like over the entire source of the room. What are you sensing?
I'm sensing a lot more calm.
Yes, it's much more calm, much more calm. Okay, now if we let it go long enough, you guys will be going to sleep on me. So I'm going to turn this on for just a moment, and then you can tell me what you're sensing now. Good, that's a good spot. Okay, what are you sensing now? And sense it over the entire room. Any change from the previous? Good, very good. Anything
I was
else?
gonna say I feel fuzzy.
Yeah, it's a little higher now, right? It's a little higher. Well, tonight it was very generously given, this crystal. And you notice this has a point to it to concentrate the energy, so let's put that right there and tell me what you sense now. Some rest and relaxation, Mike. But sense it over the entire room, over the entire room. What are you sensing now?
It went back down. I feel calmer.
A bit more calm. Okay. Spreading. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
What I was gonna say, it feels like a wave as opposed to the fuzz.
Right. Right. This is now acting more like an adaptogen, more like ginseng or adrenal support. What it's doing is if you need more energy, it's going to give you more. If you need less to relax, it's going to reduce it. But as you're sensing this, there's a sharpness to this now. To me, it's more sharp and it's more specific. It's really working on each one of us now much more specifically. Do you sense them?
Gary,
Yes.
when you first put it on, I could feel a lot softer energy, okay,
Okay.
calming energy. When you put that on the second time, there was a buzz, like an activation, an activating energy,
Okay.
okay? When you put that, put that on there,
Yeah.
okay, it amplified the energy but smoothed it out.
Thank you. That's right. That's part of what it's doing. But you could feel the amplification, and you can feel what it was doing. Yeah. Yeah. Can you sense that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the energy that you can manufacture this way is similar energy that you can manufacture yourself with your statements. Your statements are not just a wish list. Those statements will go out, and they'll go out to the ends of the universe, and they'll start working for you to help you no matter what it is you want. If you need support, they'll bring people to you. If you need money, it'll start bringing that to you. If you need time or energy, it'll start bringing that to you. Your job is to start controlling your energy in a specific way. If I can do that with this, you can do it yourself. That's your job. We have a specific technique to do that, and it will work. And what you can do with your consciousness is far beyond anything this can do, because that will only go about 3,600 square feet, okay, the size of a good house. You can go to the ends of the universe. That's how far you can go. Yeah. So, think about this. You have your future in your hands, and you can control it. Thank you. Great class. Thank you. Any quick questions? I'm repeating myself. Any questions at all? Anything? Okay. I would encourage you to talk to Becky and get some time on that machine.
Sign up on the next class.